Hello friends, welcome to my channel, and today we will learn about store procedure, variables, flow controls, views, no count on or no count off. So let's start. First we learn about scripts and comments in SQL. So first, script. A script is a collection of SQL statements that you can execute in one operation, and you can use any kind of SQL command such as insert, select, delete, etc. And you can define and use variables, and you may also use program flow like if else, etc. And you may also add comment to make the script easier to read and understand. We will learn about all step by step. So first, using comments. Using comments in your SQL script is important to make script easier to read and understand. In SQL we can use two different types of comments. First is a single line comment. So single line comment, we can comment one line at the time using before text the text you want to comment out. Let's start first our Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. Now we use single line comment. This is a select statement. Here is our single line comment, and comment is not executed in a script. And now we use any word. Here is no comment and here is a single line comment. Now we know about multi-line comments. Multi-line comments, we can comment several lines using divide and star symbol, punctuation mark in the start of comment, and first star symbol and multiplication symbol or divide symbol in the end of comment. This is a joint statement, and we use stored procedure. So here is a multi-line comment. Now start our query. Now SQL variable. The ability to using variables in SQL is a powerful feature. So let's start SQL Server Management Studio. And first go to our database. The keyword is declare when you want to define the variable. Local variable must have the symbol @ as a prefix, and you use data type for the variable like int, money, car, etc. So let's start. Now we use a comment for code reading. Declare @ prefix variable name and data type. Here is a sentence for using and declare a variable. In varchar. Now when you want to assign a value to the variable, you must use either a set or a select statement. If you want to see the value of variable, you can use print command. Assigning variable with a value from a select statement is very useful, and you can use variable with where clause. So let's start step by step. First, we use a set keyword to assign a value into a variable. And now we want to see what is a value into a variable, so we can use print command. Now we are seeing this value from this variable. If you have more than one variable, you want to declare a variable. Declare first name, data type, and last name, data type. When you use two variables using declare, so first variable put a punctuation mark, comma. Now set a value. Set a second variable value. Now if you want to see a value in a variable, so we use a print command statement. Some mistake. FIRST. Execute. Now see our value, but we can put space between Harry and technology, so better preview. Now looks fine. Now here is the writing. You must use either a set or a select statement. Now we use a select statement from a table. So here is our client's demo table. So first we see in a table using select statement. Here is our data, demo data. Now we declare a variable and use into a table. Name in varchar max and select @client name is equal to first name from demo table and print client name, so we want to see which value is selected from a table into a variable. So 11 is our last row, so by default last row value select from a client, and we want to use a first and second row. We can use where clause id is equal to 1, execute. Now we use a first row, execute both. First row is Harry and messaging Harry, and use a second row. So here is our data, and second row Jamin, and also print a Jamin. And one more thing, you can also find a value using a variable, and it's many use like a web application. So when we start a tutorial in web application, we use a variable and store procedure in a web application. You can find value from a variable. So first declare a find variable and data type, and set data type to a variable, data type value. Now we use this find variable into a table. So select start from our client demo table, and when where clause with first name like our variable, and execute this query. So here is our first name start with J, sorting our data. So we see set or select statement in a table, and select statement is very useful in a SQL query. Now we start global variable and flow control. So there are many built-in variable in SQL, and it's used in queries and scripts, and we discuss and learn identity built-in variable. So contains the last identity value that's generated by the statement. So first we go to SQL Server, and now we want to insert a new client into client table, and we want to insert a status in status detail table that belonging to client with reference key. To find the client ID, we can use identity variable, and same database and table. Here is clients table and its columns, and here is a client status detail. So client status detail and its column. Here is a reference key from a client table. So we can use identity. So first declare a variable, Now we use a full screen, better display. ID int and use select this variable client ID is equal to built-in variable, use double prefix at the rate identity. Now insert first insert into client. First name, last name, sorry, middle name, last name, mobile number, email, PAN number, address. Now address is text in blue color, so we put brackets, same keyword in built-in variable, pin code, city, state also keyword in use in SQL built-in, countries. Now values into brackets, first name cat, last name Mac Winslow, and mobile number XYZ. It's only for demo. Then pin code, zip code, city, and country UK. Now here is a identity, client identity, and go to our reference table for a client status. So we insert a client status column using a identity. And client ID. Now values, and opening date in by default SQL YYYYMMDD format. So 2090 08 07 16, and ACN status no segment BSC or NSC, and client ID we use identity client ID by default. client ID. Now first we display our here is a 10 rows and 7 rows 10 ID, and there are no row with name cat, and client status table is empty. So first we execute this query. One row affected, one row affected. Now we use 11 ID and 8 row cake mark in slot, and here is a client status and ID. Client ID is 11, so we do not enter a client ID 11, it's automatically using this reference ID. So identity variable is used to create an identity automatically in bulk record that contains the last identity value that's generated by the statement. Now there are different type of flow controls. Flow controls such as while, cursor, begin and case, and if else. Now we discuss step by step, one by one. So first full screen our query window. As with other programming language, you can use different kind of flow controls such as if else, while, etc., and it's very useful, so please watch carefully. If else, so first we use if else. So declare a variable select client is equal to ID from clients. Now we want to where clause where ID is equal to 2, and now we use a first name also. First name is equal to Jamin. Now if CLID client ID is greater than 10, print a statement the client ID is larger than 10. Now else print a statement the client ID is not larger than 10. Now we execute this query. The client ID is larger than 10. If we want some ID is equal to 2, and now execute this query. The client ID is not larger than 10 because we use a 2 ID, and also check our ID. client ID is not larger than 10 because it's 2, identity is 2. Now we use cat and run our program. So the client ID is larger than 10 because our cat is identity is 11. Now second flow controls is begin and end. If more than one line code is to be executed with an if statement, you need to use begin and. Now more than one statement, we use begin and end. Simple. Same result, but code processing is fast. Use begin and end too. Now with flow control while. We can also use while, which is known as other programming language. So first while select ID from clients greater than 5. Now we use begin and end flow controls. Update clients set mobile is equal to mobile plus 1. Now we use a select statement first and then a while statement. Here is our data and client 5 times and mobile number upgraded by 1 addition. So stop because it's running very large. 8 rows affected, 8 rows affected. Now we see our clients. So our mobile number is updating by 1 automatically. So while loop use flow control using looping our programs. Now begin and end. So begin and end just if else control, and we already discussed begin and end. Next is a case control, case flow control. So case flow control, the case statement a list of conditions and returns one of multiple possible result expressions. We have student table that contain the percentage for each student in different class. Now first we select our student data, student percentage table. Here is our table and here is student ID, class ID, percentage and grade. Now we use a case statement. So first select student ID, SQL brackets means columns. Now we use a case statement, flow control. Case grade when for then D. Now 1, 2, 3. So we use A, B, C, D. Else not grade and as grade column from student percentage table. Here is our query using a case statement, and here is a grade and percentage, class ID, student ID. So we execute this query for a grade A, B, A, C, D, for our percentage grade. Now we use a most important part of and difficult part of flow control, cursor. So listen carefully for using a cursor and its advantage of SQL. So first create a new SQL query and use database. Now what is cursor? Cursor in advanced script cursor may be very useful. A cursor works like an advanced while loop which we use to iterate through the records in one or more tables. Keep in mind, note that cursor are used mainly and mostly in store procedures, triggers and SQL scripts. We use client table as an example. We will create a cursor that iterates through all records in clients and check if the PAN number consists of 8 digits. If not, the script will replace the invalid PAN number with the text in PAN number column. So first, how to create a cursor? So first we use a comment to see. First declare a variable, SQL variable, then declare a second variable and declare a cursor, then cursor with select statement, and after the select statement open cursor, fetch data and go to condition while loop, then set a specific column, change, and after all the procedure close cursor and deallocate cursor. Now first we select, close a comment Now first select our clients table. Now PAN number already character is 8, but sorry 10 character, but last 10 identity column 10 is not a valid PAN number. So let's start using a cursor to check our PAN number. So first declare a variable and declare another variable. Sorry, we already use a declare keyword, more readable, PAN number and nvarchar data type. Now declare a cursor. So we use a declare keyword and cursor name database cursor and cursor. For select statement, select ID from clients. Now open a DB cursor, declare a cursor, select statement and open a cursor. Open a DB cursor and fetch data, fetch next from a DB cursor into a client ID. Now we use a while loop for check our data and looping our data. While we use a built-in variable fetch status is equal to 0 and we use begin and end statement. Now select our PAN and value in our variable. So PAN from clients and now which value into a PAN variable. So we use where condition for our ID is equal to CLID. We already in a DB cursor. Now check our condition. If len keyword used to our check our PAN character greater than 10, update clients set PAN column. Which column want to update your status? PAN is not valid. Please enter a valid PAN. Where you want to set your PAN column, so where ID is equal to client ID, which ID update a column. Now fetch a next data, next from db cursor into CLID and close our loop. Close our db cursor and deallocate our db cursor. Now first execute this query. Now here is a 10 number John, that span number is not valid. Now this error is because len spelling mistake, alien. So now our code is perfect. So first we declare a variable and declare a cursor and open a cursor and select pan from id by id and check pan character is less than 10. So update our pan column. Pan is not valid. Please enter a valid pan number where id column in update. Fetch next db cursor and end. Close db cursor and deallocate db cursor. Now we execute the data and identity 10, our pan number is not valid, so we execute this query and one row affected. Now check our data and id 10, pan is not valid, and please enter a valid pan number. View and store procedure. So first, view are a virtual table for easier to access to data stored in multiple tables, and you can also use view in a query. So we go to our SQL server and now a view is like a virtual table and it save a query. So first we create a view using this our true table. Here is our demo table and we use a view from our two tables. So first create a view using a query. So its syntax is create view and view name, view country, city, and now we use as keyword for a view and last go. So first select from cities, join country on cities dot city country id is equal to country dot country id. Now we execute our query. Here is our query and we use this query in a view. So execute this command, complete successfully. Now if you use a view, simple select statement, select start from our view, view country city. Now same output. So a view is saved a SQL query in a view. Now view can be used to reduce the complexity of the database schema, and view can be used as a mechanism to implement row and column level security, row and column level security. If you don't want to city name and city POP rank, so filter our column. First we want only city name and country name. Now here is a column level security. We see only 2 columns, and if you want to modify your view, simple alter view. Command complete successfully. Now select our view. Now here is a column level security and row level security. It can be used to present aggregate data and hide details data. To modify view, only you can use alter view and view name, and create view, you can create view or view name. Design mode. So first click on a view, on new view, and select a table, cities and country table. Now we saved our view. View 2 default name. So we get an error. View definition include no output columns or include no items in the from clause. Why it's happened? Because our select column, we could not select a column. So first select a column from tables, and here is a simple join query. Now we save our view. View saved successfully, and refresh your view. Now we use a view from view 2. Now here is the same output, and you can use view for a column indexer, trigger, indexes and statistic. And what is view limitation? First we delete a view using a query. So simple drop view and view name. Drop view or view name. So delete a view. Command completed successfully, and refresh our view. So now here is a one view, and if you want to delete using design view, so simple delete and OK. Now what is a limitation of view? View limitation, view can't pass parameters to. Command completed successfully. Now select start from view cities. We get all our data. Now we want to order by with city name. Cities dot city name, and alter our view, modify our view. We get an error. Order by clause is invalid in a view. Inline function divide tables. So order by keyword is not used in a view. View cannot be used on a temporary table. View is a vertical table, so you cannot use a temporary table. First create a temporary table. Create table temporary table. So id int and name, first name and varchar max, and insert data into temporary table. We drop our table first and command complete successfully. We have already named table, so we get error. Now 3 row affected. Check our data. We have a data. Now create view. Temporary table as go and select start from temporary table. Now we have a data. If we want to create a view from temporary table, we get error, views or function are not allowed on temporary table. Views and function are not allowed on temporary tables. So now we use a store procedure. A store procedure is a collection of SQL statements, and you can use flow controls, variables, etc. And we can run store procedure using executive commands and run option in Management Studio. Let's go to our SQL server, and we create a store procedure. So first we create a country store procedure. We insert data into country table using a store procedure. So first create a store procedure. Sentence and command is create procedure and procedure name. Now here is a stored procedure name. Now we take a input argument parameter data type. Rank and GDP money. Now here all is a argument, input argument. Now our store procedure body is start from country, where country name is equal to @name, and we write a insert statement to store our data in countries table. Column name it's a demo table. Now here is a store procedure body. It's all is a store procedure body. Now simple go and close our store procedure. Now we create a store procedure. Commands completed successfully. Now we use a store procedure. For using a store procedure, keyword is executive, EXECUTE, execute. Our store procedure name SP country, and by default our GDP second number and our argument GDP variable is last, so we use in this order to input a data. First name POK and C or B. Rank is just up for a demo procedure. Execute our store procedure. Now select start from country. We insert a data. Now we get all country and city name using a store procedure. It's a store procedure for insert data. Now select a data from a store procedure. So first create procedure, procedure name, get country, cities, and now we use without any parameter from a city. So as and go. So first select start from country name, city name, and join country on country dot country ID is equal to cities dot city country ID. Check our store procedure, check our data. Now we create a store procedure. Command completed successfully. Now check our store procedure. We get all output. Now we want to specific country and city, so we use a parameter for a country name, CarMax, and alter a procedure, modifier procedure, and now we use a where keyword, where cities dot countries dot name, country name is equal to country name, and alter our procedure. Command completed successfully. Now we input a parameter. Now we have only output that country belonging to India. So one is that store procedure is used to insert data, get a data, and its use web application and as well as web API, mobile application. So next is no count on or off. No count on or off. Set no count on stop the message that shows the count of the number of row affected by SQL or stored procedure, and using set no count on and set no count off makes the stored procedure run faster or network traffic is reduced. So it is a good practice to using no count on or no count off. It's nothing but here is input set no count on and last before go we use set no count off. And alter our store procedure, modify our store procedure. Command completed successfully. Now our store procedure run very fast, and it's a good practice to use a no count on or off. Procedure can run fast and it is advantage of SQL. So friends, in the next video we use built-in function. So friends, thank you for watching my video and have a nice day.